Hey everyone, welcome back to the M&R Show. I'm Ron.
And I'm Malcolm.
You see, we got Money Mont back in the building.
Back in the building. After a good week of football, I'm ready. I got some things to say.
Amazing week of football. I mean, for me and Malcolm, I would assume so.
I think that we don't really need to talk about it. I think it was just a very depressed time in my life the other day about that game. I just think it's just you don't need to talk about it no more. I think it's already known. I think that's just already known, to be honest.
Never need to talk about Washington football. That's nothing.
Just stay around because your Steelers haven't been doing good too. But we're not gonna talk too much about it. We're not gonna get too much in it. All right.
At 7:30, we were the worst performance of the day. By 8:45, it was no question. It was no question.
Let's just start it because y'all making me mad now. Y'all making me mad.
What we're going to do, we're going to start with Mont. We were staying in the NFC with our first topic. I mean, everyone wants to know, are the Bucs still the favorite? They still are the reigning Super Bowl champions, Mont. Are you the favorite?
At this very moment, I would have to say the Bucs are not the favorite. And yeah, the Bucs are still a very talented team. They're still probably the most complete offense in the NFC. Defense, the secondary is not up to par. I think Chris Godwin going out is really gonna affect the Bucs. You know what I mean? And granted, they do have Antonio Brown and Mike Evans, completely all-decade receivers. The last 10 years, they've ran the league, but when you're thinking about Tom Brady and how he likes to look at every option there is on the field, he's going to take what you give him. If you're giving him Scotty Miller all day, I'm not sure if that's going to beat you. And, they got other injuries as well. Leonard Fournette's kind of shaking up. He's going to miss the rest of the season to the playoffs. They still very hurt at cornerback on defense. Levante Davis out for the rest of the season too. I just think for them to conjure up that magic that they put together last year, they were going to need these last couple games to keep it all together. But for the Bucs, I'm not thinking repeat right now. My mind's set on the Packers. I think the Packers right now are the best team in the NFC, and they got the chance to go it off. And that's where I'm at with it.
You muted him out.
I understand what you're saying, and I mean, at first when we look at this defense, my bad, I'm messing up a little bit. Washington got me all messed up in the head, I'll tell you that. But I think then we look at this Tampa Bay offense, like you said, there's a lot of injuries going on, especially with COVID and Chris Godwin. You got Little Fournette, and them guys having injury problems right now. But at the end of the day, you still will, at the end of the season, I guess they said when Mike Evans come back, you'll still have guys as in Mike Evans still, you still have Antonio Brown, you still have Gronk, and you have Leonard Fournette coming from that hamstring injury coming into playoffs. They already won a division, so I think they're not really worried too much. Yes, they could get the number 1 seed. They could try and get that, but I just think that's already in the hands of Aaron Rodgers. So the fact with Tampa Bay right now is they're going to focus on health. And I think offensively, this team can really combat with anybody. Yes, we talk about Aaron Rodgers' Packers and their defense looking good, but at the end of the day, we have Joe Barry as a defensive coordinator. And I'll tell you, I'm a Washington fan, and I know how Joe Barry is as a defensive coordinator. You have a guy like Tom Brady, he can be able to pick apart this defense. So I'm just letting you know based off experience, But at the end of the day, I still have trust of Tampa Bay running, leaving the NFC as the NFC Championship and being able to represent them in the Super Bowl. So, I know Ron has something to say about these Cowboys coming up, and it's so crazy how they just have a good time talking about these Cowboys after they just ran with this sorry Washington team. But I'm gonna let Ron finish the talk and see what he has to say.
Well, this Cowboys team, did face a fully healthy Tampa Bay team and lost by a game in the field goal. Maybe I wasn't there, and maybe I just wasn't there. But on that note, the favorite I didn't see is clearly the Green Bay Packers. Now, interesting. They're the best quarterback in the NFL, and they have a really good defense, and they have the best receiver in the NFL, and they have the second best running back center in the NFL. These are all facts that they've been doing all year. A.J. Dillon, for one, I don't even know why they pay Aaron Jones. A.J. Dillon has looked just as good as him. These are facts. Aaron Jones didn't even play a game. You didn't know he was missing. The running back talent in Green Bay has looked amazing. Aaron Rodgers has looked amazing. Lazard has even become a decent, number 3 type of receiver for the team. What's going to hurt Green Bay is they're also hurt. The tight end is out. We all know Tanyan's out. Bakhtiari is supposed to be they say he was 1 week away. That was 2 months ago. So I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, is he ever going to be back? I'm not sure. That can hurt them, but overall, they're the hottest team right now in the NFC, and I think they have the best balanced team right now. I'm not sure. Is Jair Alexander back? I couldn't find if he was back.
Not yet. On the way.
It's been a week away, about a month. They said it was a 3-week injury. That was 2 months ago as well. So somebody's lying, Green Bay, with the injuries. So I'm not sure when these guys are coming back, but I'm assuming they'll make an appearance for the playoffs. But Green Bay must win out because they need to let the playoffs go through Lambeau Field. We all know that's the last real home field advantage that teams really can get you in the playoffs. No one wants to go and play in Lambeau in January. So that's the scariest team. I think they have to at least be considered the favorite to represent the NFC.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, though. I get what y'all saying about Aaron Rodgers, and this. Aaron Rodgers might be a complete because he's the best quarterback in the league so far. You got the best receiver in Devontae Adams. This is all great to hear, but we've seen these past couple playoffs. If people are locking down Devontae Adams, who's there? And this year, Valdez-Scantling still he struggled this year. He's not struggling this year, but is he gonna be that number 2 for y'all? Is Allen Lazard gonna be a number 2 for y'all? Are we hoping that Aaron Jones is going to be able to be good? We just have a lot of questions other than what we're going to see from Devontae Adams. And we have a lot of questions talking about from injuries. We just said about a couple of their guys, they were supposed to be after 2 to 3 week injuries, or they were supposed to come back soon. You've seen that we're waiting months and months. So are they waiting because when they come back, you say there's going to be a problem when they get on the field, they have to get in shape? We got to understand that problem too. So I think that we're looking at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You have a guy like, Tom Brady, who is the GOAT. We all know he's the GOAT. And I think that when you have guys like him, you said what?
He's the GOAT, but Aaron Rodgers is the greatest passer of the football in the history of the
greatest talent.
Greatest quarterback talent, yes. Greatest quarterback talent, but Tom Brady's the GOAT. Tom Brady's the GOAT. I think that when we see what Tom Brady
beat Rodgers last year, and Rodgers has to get that back in blood. I mean, he has to. He beat you last year, and it was your fault why y'all lost. He didn't run the ball. We all know it was Aaron Rodgers' fault. You ain't gonna put all of that on him, but he had a chance to win the game. I think if they play them, which I'm not sure if they even will, but if they meet, I think that's gonna be one of Rodgers' best games. I do personally.
Definitely.
I got Tampa Bay winning, so that's all I got to say then.
Let me just get this in here. Ron brung it out. He took my point away. Jair Alexander is coming back. Bakhtiari is coming back. And like you said, Malc, yeah, they took a while to come back. But when you look at Tampa Bay, their players are just getting hurt. So it is not they got a while to come back. You got 2 more weeks before the playoffs are here. It's no guarantee they're going to get that first round bye. Green Bay might have the first round bye without having Bakhtiari, without having Jair Alexander. With shuffling around this defense, with picking up Whitney Merciless after dropping Jalen Smith, Clenny Clark still playing some good ball. And I hear what you're saying. What is Devontae Adams going to do? We seen A-Rod at the time when the Cardinals was the top team in the NFC, go in there and win it without any receivers. Well, without any receivers named Devontae Adams. So I just feel like no matter what, you got A-Rod, you got a defense that is still trending upwards, and you're going to get your best cornerback back and your best left tackle heading into the playoffs? Come on, man. Green Bay, they're going to have home field advantages. That's my choice right now.
That's what I said. Yeah, home field is key. But all right, now moving on to our next topic. I know a lot of people are interested to see what is the confidence level in some of these AFC teams. So we're going to start with the Colts. I want to start this one. I am not that confident in the Colts. Now, the Colts have looked better as of late, but Wentz still is looking shaky to me. Now, the stats don't show you that. But if you're watching the game, you're like, wait a minute, this guy is not even playing on Derek Carr's level with me. He hasn't been playing like a top 13 guy. Now, what they've done, they've made Wentz not turn the ball over a lot less, and they've put him into less bad situations like that. And they've used the current, since Derrick Henry is on the IR list, best running back in the NFL, and they've leaned on that. They've leaned on the offensive line, which is actually having somewhat of a down year. but right now they're second in rushing yards per game without a rushing quarterback. That's really good. They're fifth in points per game, and their defense is fifth in interceptions. So the defense is a turnover defense. But I don't think they're better than teams like the Bills, the Titans, or of course the Kansas City Chiefs or the New England Patriots. Even though they did beat New England, I still don't think that they're a harder matchup in the playoffs, at least with a Bill Belichick type of coach. So I think they're the fifth out of those teams. They're around that level. So that's why I'm not really concerned with them being a contender, because I don't think they're a top 3 team in the AFC.
I mean, I have confidence in this team. I think that when you look at, they had one of the hardest schedules, to start off this season. They started off like 1-4 or 0-4, and they finish off with 9-6 right now. Yes, we can say what we can say about a guy like Carson Wentz and how bad he's been looking, but let's look at the positive of the situation. They're winning games. When Carson Wentz is looking bad or what? One thing was Jonathan Taylor has been we're seeing a resurgence of Jonathan Taylor right now. We've seen that they have so many injuries and COVID stuff going on, but they still find ways to win. And I think that's the main objective into this whole point. They beat the Cardinals, they beat the Patriots with people injured. People on the offensive line injured, but Jonathan Taylor is still going on. You got defensively. They played the Cardinals without Darius Leonard. They won their best inside linebacker, one of the best linebackers in the league. They had people out on the secondary, and they had people out on the offensive line. They still found ways to win. I think that when you're looking at this team right now, especially when you get into the cold weather, you're playing playoff football. You have a guy like Jonathan Taylor who run the football, had a run football first type of mode, and you still have guys out the wing with Michael Pittman and Ty Hilton. I really think this team is going to be good, especially when you have a well-coached team, and when you have a well-coached as in Frank Reich. I think Frank Reich does a very good job, and I think in the playoffs you really do. The coaches are really the ones that really take over. I think that Frank Reich can do what he can do with this team in the playoffs.
Mont?
Yeah, I am not too confident in the Colts, and in my mind, they are the most balanced team coming into the playoffs as a AFC team. They're the most balanced AFC team. Their offense, steady. Carson Wentz, I don't think he's been playing too bad, but from where he should be in his career, he's clearly not ever going to be that, but he's been making some big plays. Jonathan Taylor, he's big time. He's going to be able to carry the run game heavy into the playoffs. I'm not too sold on their receivers. Like I said, they're balanced. On defense, I feel like DeForest Buckner and Darius Leonard are real problems, and they are real playmakers in the playoffs. But as far as being a balanced team, I still think it's teams out there who is offensively going to be better than the Colts. Colts may have struggle Colts may struggle sometimes putting up points on the board, and I feel like not a lot of these AFC teams are going to have trouble putting the points on the board in the playoffs. So that's my take. That's where I'm at with it. I just don't think they'll be able to keep up offensively. Their defense is very stout. Still questions in the secondary, but when you look at the front seven, they're still very talented. So
right now, it's the Buffalo Bills, by the way. So when you're saying you're confident today, that's what they playing in the first round. I don't know who's confident in them being Buffalo. I'm not even the biggest Buffalo fan.
Well, okay.
Got them beating them.
Yeah, y'all can say that, but last time they played Buffalo and beat them 41-15. So, and we look at the AFC, other than the Chiefs that we understand that's going to be the top number 1 team, who in the AFC that we have to worry about? This is not the NFC right now where you worry about teams like, Tampa Bay, the Rams, the Packers and other teams like that, or the Cowboys to the extent. But I'm just saying with the AFC, you don't have those teams. You don't have the big powerhouse other than the Chiefs. So for the Buccaneers, they're 9-6. They're thick right into the AFC. They can win games. They have beaten proven playoff teams, as in the Patriots, who we thought was going to be a threat to the Chiefs. You had the Bills, who we thought was going to be big ones. They beat those teams. They beat those teams in this season. So the fact that we're telling them that they can't be able to do it, they done it. So I'm confused why we're saying that. We have to.
We're not saying they can't do it. We're saying they won't do it. Now, it's a difference in saying what you can do. Anybody can do anything, but will they? I say no. You can say you think, you're assuming, are they going to be Buffalo in the playoffs in Buffalo in January? No.
I think the Colts can get something done.
No.
And to be honest, they're competing right now with the Tennessee Titans for division lead. So I think that they can be able to get a home game out of this.
They do that every year, in my opinion, and it still kind of leans towards the Titans. And yeah, you're right. The way that this season has gone, it can happen to any team. Any team can lose any week, but that's what also doesn't give me the confidence about the Colts, because yeah, they have some big wins, but they also have some losses where I'm looking at them like, you guys should win this game. Honestly, they should be in charge of the AFC South. I feel like with the injuries that the Titans had this year, they had prime opportunity, but because they had a bad start, they couldn't elevate themselves.
Right? I think they were swept by the Titans this year.
They swept by the Titans. They swept by the Titans. But other than that,
in the division, the Titans didn't have to lose out. Actually, they do have to lose out. That's how you would get there. So it's and the Titans. When you were acting like, the Titans have been better than this whole year, and they haven't even had Derrick Henry and Julio and AJ Brown, and still have been better the whole year.
That's fair, and they're both very balanced teams, and I just feel that the quarterback is gonna go as their running back though. And, it's just not a good mix of confidence. I don't feel like I like both of those teams to go far in the playoffs as well. Like, I feel like the formula is not going to work when it comes to these other AFC teams.
Probably Wentz is more talented than Tannehill. Tannehill knows his role better. It's like Mac Jones.
I think that y'all really underestimating the Colts, and that's where I'm going to leave it at. I see what y'all saying. Y'all give me these different excuses, but it's crazy because these last couple of weeks, the Colts keep on proving people wrong, but at the end of the day, we continue to disrespect them. So let's go. We can continue disrespecting them, but at the end of the day, when it's the playoffs, I would love to go back and be able to say, I told y'all so. Every single one of y'all. I want to make sure y'all know.
Can we be honest about something, though?
What's up?
You want to see Carson Wentz in the playoffs? Because, I ain't seen it yet. I've seen a quarter of Carson Wentz in the playoffs so far. So if that's
we've seen a quarter, but it's the point. But this is the point. This is the point. What I'm trying to. This is what point I'm trying to make. They don't need Carson Wentz to do good in the playoffs because they have guys like Jonathan Taylor. Frank Wright has a system in place where he knows how to play with Carson Wentz's strengths and be able to have Carson Wentz not be able to go reckless and be able to do crazy stuff. You got Jonathan Allen, you got Jonathan Taylor, and you have that offensive line still. And that's going to win you games in the cold, especially in the playoffs. You have to understand that.
I find that completely false because, like we said, Ryan Tannehill has Derrick Henry, and he cannot make.
He went to the NFC Championship. He went to the NFC Championship. He went to the NFC Championship, AFC Championship before.
I feel like he knows his role better, though. Not that Wentz hasn't been playing a role this year, because he has, but Tannehill is like a Mac Jones. They never try to do more than they're capable. They just don't. Wentz, he does every week. It's a play. I'm like, there goes, okay. He's trying to do a little much. Because he still has that in him. You can't just break that out of someone. Now he's been doing a lot better. I really want to give him a lot of credit. He's played pretty good this year. But I don't know. With Mont's point too, in the playoffs, I'm actually excited to see the game. Buffalo versus Colts will be a very good game, and I'm in a win-win. Either Josh Allen's going to play terrible and they're going to lose, or Carson Wentz and the Colts are going to or Wentz is going to look bad. So regardless, I can't lose in this game. So let's chalk it up, baby. I'm ready for the matchup. Personally, I can't lose. I'm in a win-win. Either way, I can't lose this matchup. So let's go. I'm excited.
I'm excited to see it as well. I just, it's questions about the Colts. It's question about all these AFC teams, honestly. I think when you look at it, everybody has their flaw, and when it comes down to it, and you see that everybody has their flaw, you just have to go Kansas City Chiefs and stamp it right there. That's the team in the AFC.
Yeah, we have about 4 minutes left. I'll let Malc start this one real quick. Just your quick. Are you concerned, or do you still believe in the Los Angeles Chargers?
I'm quite concerned with the Los Angeles Chargers. I see them going on and off. I don't like this inconsistency. The way Justin Herbert has been playing, he's a top 5 quarterback talent, but I don't know what's going on with that crew, with Lombardi, what he's been doing so far, but I just have problems with them. And they got injuries on defense, and it's been showing lately. So they've just been a little inconsistent with me, which is scary because they can be a very good team if they have all their act together.
Yeah, I don't think they're ready yet. Like next year, they'll be better. This second year of a coach. I'm not giving up on the coach yet. I think he's a really good coach. He says a lot of good stuff, shows a lot of good stuff on tape. But they don't even have the bodies right now to stop the run. They just don't have the bodies. The receivers are getting a little old. They don't have a speedster. They still have problems with the team that aren't fixed. And Herbert is literally just in year 2. He needs to calm down. He has the talent. He doesn't do too much. But some games he overthrows the out. We've seen him do it 3 times already. It's resulting in pick 6 every time. So I think they just need another year. So this year, no. Next year, most likely. Come on.
Yeah, just like Ron said, my confidence is not that high with the Chargers. They can't really stop the run, and most of the AFC teams have a running back that'll run the ball down your throat, or Patrick Mahomes. So it's just, you know what I mean, very good season. Justin Herbert, amazing. He's developing a lot of potential, like you said, next year or the year after that.
For sure.
Which part this was Ron's, sleeper pick for the playoffs, but I'm gonna be quiet.
Man, still gonna make the playoffs though.
Okay. I'm about to be sleeper team, you know what I'm saying? The sleeper team of the AFC, but I'm gonna be quiet.
I like the Steelers to make it.
Okay.
You know what? I think that's where we end the podcast right here. Hearing something like that.
You gotta manifest some things in life, man.
Sometimes you do gotta manifest, but manifest realistic things. Like manifest realistic things. All right.
Hey, Washington made the playoffs.
All right. Now I know you was gonna say something like that.
Manifest anything.
We don't need to hear that. We don't even need to hear that right now. That's the point. We don't need to hear that.
They need to go there. Definitely.
We definitely need to go there. You know what I'm saying? You need to switch on us. I don't know why y'all would try to switch it on us. I just don't understand.
Prayer, baby.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay. Let's just end it right there. Let's just end it right there.
All right. Well, make sure y'all still subscribing, sharing, and helping us reposting our social medias. Malcolm.
Hey, y'all. Thank you for supporting us. Follow us on Instagram, on Twitter at Malc and Ron Show. We post a lot of hot takes. A lot of posts. Different polls and stuff like that. So make sure y'all tune in though.
All right.
See y'all.